I was savoring my coffee in a diner one frigid fall morning when a patron sat down across from me. I take pleasure in solitude, so the stranger's arrival was most unwelcome. Still, I fought the urge to move and rather gave the visitor my undivided attention. I stared over the tendrils of steam and nearly left my seat. I realized the man was dead. His stringy hair covered a crimson gash 6 inches wide along the top of his ambushed skull. A dribble of blood congealed along the ridge of his nose. His mouth gave a crooked smile. I suppose the smile was lopsided due to nerve damage from whatever placed such a harrowing mark upon his head. His milky eyes basked in the soft warm glow of the diner. A fly made its way from a plate of pancakes and sausage on a nearby table to enjoy this new delicacy of rotting corpse. It crawled along the lower rim of the cadaver's left eye. It twitched. I looked around for confirmation of this wild outsider who came to sit with me. My head spun from left to right. My heart sank. I was alone in the small restaurant. Even the cook staff and the waitress who had just poured my coffee had vanished. I shuddered. I looked once more at the dead man and returned to him my most polite smile. He beamed, and my stomach stirred to see the teeth on his right side, the only side that could properly lift, were shattered from another blow. I thought of what to say. My mouth opened and closed like a fish, and nary a word cut the space between us. The scent of fresh coffee was marred in my nostrils by the stench of my new booth partner. At long last, I closed my lips for good, finding nothing worth cutting the silence. His eyes lit up to see my tongue tied, and he leaned forward, hardly 2 feet from my face. I smelled his rank breath like rot and mildew, but I dared not pull myself away. He drew nearer, and still I delayed my withdrawal. Finally, his decayed forehead rested against my own. His flesh was uneven and cold. We sat like that for a moment or two, and then my mind was filled with his voice. Perhaps it was a voice. Perhaps it was simply his thoughts detached from any recognizable tone of human speech. Perhaps I was reading the mind of a dead man. Perhaps he could read mine. Regardless, he began to converse with me. He told me of death and suffering, betrayal and vengeance. He told me of dreams dashed along the rocks and hope smeared with innocent blood. He spoke of screams in the night and sobs of helpless terror. He filled my head with a rush of water swimming with sharks and spirits. I sat in petrified wonder as the world of night beyond this one flowed from his state in the hereafter to my own mind, locked inside of time and space. I desired to shrink away, to flee from the message and its dreadful messenger, but a flicker of light behind my eye made me hesitate. It grew in the gulf between us, and I realized it came from the dead man. I held onto it with my gaze, and it kindled into a flame, and the flame spoke as the man did. It spoke of truth. It spoke of hope and goodness and struggle against the terror which preceded it. I gasped as cold enveloped my hand which rested on the table. I looked down, and the corpse had laid its own hand on mine. It slid its dead flesh across my skin, leaving it dry and withdrawn. Before I could do anything more, the visitor rose from its seat and began to head for the door. I couldn't utter a salutation, but my head desired to know what was to happen now. The figure paused before the door and turned its head a final time. Its lips moved, and for the first time, a real sound split the silence. Tell them the truth. And then he left. The introduction to Bonemeal.